Good evening, everybody. It's Material Issues with David Bash of the International Pop Overthrow Festival and Mark Hershberger of Pop Detective Records. This is show number 14. And as is normal for us, we like to shuffle and keep things interesting all the way up to the final seconds. We do have a great special guest tonight if she can get on. So we're kind of waiting with some technical issues on Lynn Carey. But in the interim, how you doing tonight, David Bash?
Hi, Mark Hershberger. I'm doing fine, thank you. The usual, just working on IPO festivals coming up. Arlington is less than a month away, so I'm getting very excited about that. And then we've got New York and Boston in November. Now, hey, George, good to see you.
Yeah, so you're starting to book some IPO things going on. That's great.
Yeah, I am. But I'm concerned, obviously, with the Delta variant, with people not getting vaccinated. And I don't mean to offend anybody who's listening who hasn't gotten vaxxed, but the spread has been a problem. And most of the spread, it has happened with people who aren't vaxxed. And it's causing, it's wreaking a lot of havoc with so many different businesses.
Yeah.
And we could be headed for another lockdown, or if not a lockdown, thank you, whoever you are. And if not a lockdown, something that's somewhat restrictive. So I'm concerned that, the shows. I'm concerned, obviously.
Sorry, that's me. Go ahead.
No, I'm concerned that the shows may not happen. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we'll be all right. I know that a lot of clubs, and I'm happy about this, a lot of clubs are imposing vax mandates so that you have to show a card before you get in, and that's fine. I think that will. I mean, one of my concerns, of course, is that people won't want to come to the shows if they know that unvaxxed people are there, and they won't want to wear a mask for 4 hours indoors. That'll be very uncomfortable, especially in a club environment. Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah, because how do you do that in a club when they want to drink some beers, they want to do this? You can't really pull them out. It's uncomfortable. So
I don't know how much is going to be enforced, but I do know that they will, at least at the door, require that you have a vaccination. I think the clubs that are doing that will probably not make you wear a mask indoors. As long as you can show the vax card, you can come in and be unmasked.
Right.
And that's fine with me. The music community, I would say a huge percentage of them have been vaccinated.
Yeah.
I don't think you have too many holdouts in that group. So I think we'll be okay.
That's absolutely true, because a lot of my friends that are now getting back to playing out, you got a lot of singer-songwriters that make their living by playing in local venues, even coffee houses, things like that. That's where they make their money. In order to do that, they've got to be vaccinated. They understand that, and
right.
and they get that done. So I think the music community is probably, very, very all for the vaccination and getting back to what we can do if you're vaccinated. So, and again, no judgments on those who don't want to get vaccinated. That's your personal choice. We get it, but the information's there for us all, and we make our own choices. But,
I think a lot of musicians and, a lot of fans of pop music. What's your tipple tonight?
Yeah, Bob Hutton wants to know.
What's a tipple?
A tipple is what you've got in the drink glass. And tonight there's Lynn. Lynn did show up, David. Tonight it's a little bit of a Cabernet cask aged tequila. Thank you, Bob Hutton. I see Lynn smiling. Lynn, we're going to bring you on in 1 second because you look beautiful. Holy cow. Give us 1 second, Lynn. David Bash and I, we're just saying hi to everybody tuning in, and we're going to introduce you and bring you on live momentarily. So hold tight, you lovely thing.
Well, this is certainly an honor for us. I've been a fan of Lynn's work for many years. Beyond the Valley of the Dolls is one of my favorite movies of all time, and in large part because of the music. And I think this is going to be a treat for everybody here. So without further ado, and I'm freezing here. What the hell?
No, you look good.
Without further freezing ado, would you please give a huge welcome to Lynn Carey?
Hot.
Hello, Lynn.
I'm very hot. I need some of your cold.
Oh, nice to see you.
I'm in permanent menopause.
So am I, Lynn.
Oh, good. I'm not alone.
We're all in the same boat. What an absolute pleasure to see you live and in person, Lynn. It is a thrill. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, indeed. We got a lot of questions on a lot of things throughout your career.
Oh, shoot.
And yeah, this is really an honor. David.
It's a pleasure for me as well.
Good. Thank you. Well, I mean, the first question, and I mean, we'll be asked, pardon?
I want your hat.
That can be arranged. The first question I have, and I mean, we'll be asking you a lot of stuff that you've been asked a million times, but the people who are watching may not know the answers, of course. I mean,
I don't mind. It's an honor to be interviewed. It's an honor that people are still interested, and I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, obviously, you had a very famous dad.
Well.
Your father taught you well, indeed. Yeah. And we're going to ask you about him, too.
Well, that's a perfect segue into the question. You know, you had a very famous dad. I mean, I certainly grew up knowing him. I wasn't a big Days of Our Lives person, but I watched a few times and I knew who he was. What was, I mean, you obviously saw a lot of celebrities when you were a kid. Were you around a lot of other kids who had famous parents? Or was this, so this wasn't anything, you didn't consider it unusual? You didn't feel like...
I was born with a gigantic camera in my face, so... And cameras were big then.
Yes.
They were huge. They looked like a behemoth.
So in your household, when you were running around as a little one, I mean, were there obviously a number of well-known people, celebrities walking in and out, so to speak, as far as dinner parties and things? You were just very that lifestyle. Yeah.
Natalie Wood and Bob Wagner, Bob Mitchum, Alfred Hitchcock, Jimmy Stewart. Gosh, there's so many. It's hard to remember them all. I was very lucky to have met these great and talented people, and very nice. Nobody had attitude.
That's really good to hear, because obviously that's one of the stereotypes about some of these people.
I don't know how to hold this thing.
It's okay. We're good.
Wait, can you see the painting in back of us?
No, not. Oh, now we can. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, is that what's that?
It's an oil. It was made in Bali.
Nice.
Wow.
My grandnephew doesn't know this, but he's going to get it.
Nice.
But I had a premonition that there was going to be a child in our family who was born in Bali. So I bought it in 1979. And I didn't know why I bought it. I never had it hung up. And then my grandnephew, Asa, was born in Bali.
Wow. Awesome.
That's wonderful.
It's a great story. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a bit of prescience. So
Apparently.
Very little surprises me.
Well, it's good. So, McDonald Carey was your daddy. I mean, you have good memories of a lot of those celebrities. Can you still recall that?
Oh, yeah.
Much of my youth, I can't recall anymore. But I mean, that's just.
Unfortunately, I have a really good memory, good and bad things. I remember. I remember even moments when I was drunk or stoned and did very embarrassing things, or had them done to me or with me.
Now, at what age did you get the entertainment bug as far as acting and singing?
0.
At age 0, you were born with it. All right. No.
But what got you to do
the holy terror?
What got you to do music in particular?
My father influenced me greatly. He was a huge jazz fan, and I was too. I remember when I was 14, I used to listen to classical music, and I twiddled around with the dial on my tiny transistor radio, and there was jazz, and I was hooked immediately. Jazz and blues were my first loves. And I remember running into Dad and saying, Dad, I discovered this new music. It's called jazz. And he just fell over laughing. He said, so that's where you've been going out. No? He said, yeah, you sneak out of the house practically every night. and I've started checking the jazz listings, so I know when you're going to be gone. So I'll be taking you from now on because this is dangerous.
And
Smart dad.
And he took you. He took you places for
God.
live.
When we went to see one of the performers, I forget, there were so many that we saw, Nancy Wilson, and she was at this place, the Crescendo, I think, on the Strip. It's not there. Upstairs was a jazz club. Downstairs was a rock club. And Dad walked in, and they got a table and put it in the front.
Oh, nice.
And I was just blown away.
Really? You hadn't seen your dad being treated that way before?
Well, yeah, but it never hit home like that because I would wait in line and, you know, be lucky if I got standing room only.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And
so from that point on, it was like, Dad, take me here, take me there.
No, I didn't have to ask. Daddy always knew what I wanted.
Nice.
He and I were kindred souls.
Oh,
we were both book addicts.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Now
we'd tell each other, no more. I said, Lynn, this is ridiculous. You have practically no room in your apartment. It's all full of books. I said, you too, Dad. You have so many books. You've got to stop this. And then we'd meet each other like drug addicts in an alley with our arms laden with books in some bookstore. Because we'd go to places that carried used books too.
Yeah.
And
I'm the same way with my dad. My dad's almost 93. He's a voracious reader, and everything he reads gets put into a box and comes to my house. So I've got quite the library in the basement from my dad.
You do. Well, I had no basement.
I do. I've got more books.
Living in LA, you don't get basements. That's the thing.
No, I miss that about LA. Basements and seasons. Our seasons are fire, mud, and
pretty much, yeah. Now, so you obviously were raised on a lot of jazz, but you got into rock and roll. How did that happen?
Well, I used to go to Topanga Canyon a lot, and there were some guys talking about starting a band, and being the shy person that I am, I walked up to them and I said, "Oh, you're starting a band? Well, it's not going to go anywhere unless you have me in it."
Wow. That's brazen. I love it.
That was C.K. Strong.
I was C.K. Strong. That's the first very, very, very bluesy rock kind of.
Yeah. And at times I felt like a poser. I felt it was kind of bizarre for this white chick from Beverly Hills to be singing songs about the blues, things about pain and, I mean, I had everything given to me. I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, which I completely spat out, and I did everything on my own. My dad couldn't help me. He wished he could have, but he couldn't. That just wasn't his métier.
You were also born with a voice that was powerful enough to not even need a PA system.
Can you imagine having me for a child? And I would cry? That would just be horrible. Mom said I wouldn't go to sleep. I was constantly propping myself and going, "What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?" But Dad used to bring home the famous jazz musicians. After hours, he would bring them home, and when I was about 12, I started sneaking downstairs and kind of humming along and trying to be not obnoxious and not get thrown out. And one night, one of them said, "You're always humming along. Do you know the words?" I said, "Yeah, of course." They said, "Well, why don't you sing something?" And it turned out that one of the people was one of the biggest bookers in town. So that was really nice.
Yeah. Now, do you remember when you first got started with C.K. Strong? Like, what were you? What did you audition with?
See me. I don't know what the heck I'm doing.
That's all right. Turn it. There you go. You got it. We're seeing that Mama Lion hair.
I know, not much else.
Maybe if you just put the phone down and rest it on something, and then just move towards the middle.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, almost. Yeah, just center yourself. Perfect.
That's great. I love it.
Everything looks
plastic surgery. which is one of the banes of my existence. I really wish I could.
No, everything looks good.
Everyone I
Lynn.
know. I think I'm the only woman in this town who hasn't had anything done.
Well, yeah, actually, David and I were commenting before the show started that unlike a lot of people that go overboard with plastic surgery and Botox and whatnot, I don't think Lynn has had any work done.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nothing.
pretty obvious that you haven't, and
Yeah, you can
I
see
think
all the
people
wrinkles
appreciate
here.
that.
And it looks great.
Where is it?
It looks great. No,
Wrinkles.
embrace
No,
it.
you look beautiful. Absolutely.
And with
And
a
that
mouth
smile,
as big as this, I'm
with
bound
that
to have
smile,
wrinkles in there.
the smile's
Yeah.
intact. Yeah.
I'm very lucky. I have a good smile. It's gotten me
That you
a lot
do.
of nice things.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Because I really do love other people. I think we're all one family. I'm still a hippie. My mom told me as a child I would run up to strangers on the street and just hug them and tell them I loved them. Because I thought I knew everybody. I thought everybody was my friend. Boy,
That's
was that
nice.
stupid.
Well, let's talk about Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. I mean,
that was
I want to put this little graphic up so people who may not be familiar with this great. There it is. There's the poster of Russ Meyer's film.
Yeah, but the Harkett CD is the one that has my voice on it. There was a dispute between Bob Fitzpatrick and let me see if I can find the Harkett thing. It's hard for me to walk.
That's all right. Take your time. This is the beauty of live Facebook stuff. We can do whatever we want.
I can't get my face in frame. Here it is.
You kind of have to go opposite of what you think you need to do. There you go.
Okay, here. Can you, let's see. How do I do this?
Put it like right up to your nose area. Or turn the phone and point it at it, yeah. Oh, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Now back it up a little bit.
Has my voice on it.
That's the CD.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, Lynn, this is the question I've been.
That I produced with Ollie Mitchell.
This has been on my mind for a long time. I mean, obviously Dolly Reed, now Dolly Martin, got cast in the role of Ellie. You certainly had the looks and you had the figure to play that, and you had acting experience. Why did they not cast you instead?
He did ask me, and after I read the script, I decided I didn't want to be a joke.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
You know, to have that. And then I go and do Penthouse, so go figure. But Guccione promised me my own studio, which he never came. I can't get this thing on my face. That sounds like it could be a really filthy line.
Works for me.
Thank you for that.
Teabagging or anything.
No, you know what? Yeah. If you just set it down in front of you, and I'll tell you what.
I'm gonna sit down at the table again and see if this will.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have that lovely piano. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, there you go. Now you look great.
Now.
Perfect.
There's no light in here.
But we see it okay, except your thumb.
There you go. Right there.
Perfect.
Yep.
So you didn't want to be in the film because of what you read with the script.
Yes, but okay. I then immediately wrote the song for the mass murder and for the lesbian love scene.
Right.
So, I mean, they did. But obviously, they still wanted to use your voice. Golly Reed couldn't
There's that
sing
better.
like
I
that.
turn on a light.
The light
Pardon?
looks good. You
Make
just need to
this
move.
work.
Just need to move over and center yourself a little bit more, and up
There
a
you
little
are.
bit. Almost. Oh, that's a good angle.
Well,
Up a little bit. You're funny.
Too. No surgery there either.
there you go.
Yes.
I can't understand how people can do that. Put some foreign object in their body.
Yeah.
Kitten
I agree with you.
Dad is a friend of mine. She's a sweetheart, such a wonderful woman. She's my neighbor, one of my neighbors, and she's one of the nicest people you would ever want to meet. Absolutely wonderful woman. I can't say enough good things about her. Our manager used to be the same person, a woman named by the name of Suzanne Perry. I can't get this thing to work.
Well, we hear you. You're right there. Now,
Yeah, right there. Now, if you stay where you are, it's perfect.
That means I have to hold my arms up, and I have no cartilage in my joints. It's like bone on bone.
At least we see a little bit of you now. If you can set it down and have it pointed at you, that would make it easier in your arms. But whatever's good for you, love. We're just excited to be talking to you.
There.
Perfect. I love
it. 100%.
We got there. It's all good.
Right.
So, nothing to worry about.
How close did you get to the cast of the film?
I used to date Michael Blodgett.
Oh, wow. That's pretty close.
For the film. I was 18 or something. I was pretty young. And
what was he like?
Conflicted. A very conflicted man. He had problems with drinking. We met through AA, actually.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we started dating. And I remember his apartment was like the recycling center for near beer. How can you drink this garbage? I said, I'd rather not drink anything than drink this stuff. I've got to stop it.
Yeah.
If that's all you're getting for vitamins, you're getting nothing.
Wow.
But I couldn't convert him, not even with my good cooking.
What's your cooking specialty?
Oh, well, I'm pretty much a cheating vegan because I love fish.
Cheating vegan. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Well, they kind of rhyme.
Yeah.
They do. You should coin that. Maybe have it patented.
Can you believe how long my hair has gotten?
I'm with you. I let my hair go during the pandemic.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty long.
It's down to my hips. This is my pandemic look.
Yeah.
Keep it long. I never liked when women cut their hair because they got a little bit older. I always wanted them to keep it long.
As short as I go is about to here.
Yeah.
And then I like to let it get long enough so I can chomp it off and donate it to kids with cancer.
Oh, wow.
It's really nice.
That's very helpful. That is great.
With a lot of your, when's the last time that you performed, Lynn?
Live at either the Talking Stick or the Savan Theater when I did that tribute to, oh gosh, how could I forget his name? He wrote Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
What, Roger Ebert?
Yeah, Roger Ebert.
Roger Ebert, yeah.
It was a memorial concert. And I heard it was going on, so I called up and bugged the guy to death. I said, you have to have me sing. I said, but we've got it all planned. I said, change your plans. I said, if you don't, I will just come there and start singing.
And so they invited me.
A friend of mine told me, this fellow I just met, who's like this, he just is so busy. I've never met a busier person in my life. A guy by the name of Thomas Eaton, I think, and super nice guy. And he likes discovering, bar bands and taking them to the next level. That's all I can glean from his page. But he's like, where's Waldo? He's been everywhere. You'll never know it, and in a corner there he is.
And when you're at the tribute and other live performances, do you normally perform the songs from Beyond the Valley of the Dolls?
No,
Because Find It, man, that first
that's what I wrote. Yeah,
I know, we know.
Oh, yeah.
That first opening salvo, so to speak, is quite.
that scream.
Yeah.
Oh, that goes on a long time.
Nice.
I had to take a really deep breath.
I was hoping you would do
Vibrate
that.
your uvula, the little thing in the back of your throat.
Yeah.
Linda Lovelace has nothing on me.
I love it.
Oh, boy.
I was hoping that you were going to hit that note for me. Thank you. That made my night. Isn't that
Our friend Lisa said that she loves you. Great.
Oh, I love you too, Lisa, whoever you are.
nice?
She's-
on Facebook.
She best scream ever, and Lisa can scream very well too. Now Lisa's a singer-songwriter, has been for years. Has been in
what's
many
your favorite
bands.
song?
And I remember we watched Beyond the Valley of the Dolls together. She and I and a bunch of friends, which is where I came up with that question: How many of the musicians in here have ever had sex to your own music? And I remember her husband sheepishly raised his hand. Sorry.
Her husband did?
He sheepishly raised his hand, like, yeah, I did.
I love it when somebody said, and this is kind of my position, I would start picking it apart and thinking, oh God, that wasn't right. This wasn't right. And my head wouldn't be in the moment. When I'm having
Right.
sex, that is all. That's my higher energy is focused there.
Yeah, you don't want distractions
And
like
it's
that.
the best
I get it.
painkiller in the world. I would just rent out my ex-boyfriend. Just from the
Pardon?
waist down. I wish I could rent out my ex-boyfriend from the waist down. I feel no pain. Climax.
I love it. Now,
Fun.
between question I had for you, between CK Strong and Mama Lion, you had an album called Vacuum Cleaner.
Oh no, that was after.
Oh, was after?
After after CK Strong.
After CK Strong.
An album Neil Merriweather put together. He was, God bless his soul, he's gone now.
Yeah.
Sweet, wonderful man. He ended up being totally into screaming, which isn't my thing, but he loved it and he did it well. And very prolific writer and always working with somebody new and somebody young, giving them a leg up.
And you had some great.
His wife, not his wife, but in spirit. His wife, Kathleen Owens, is an incredible woman. She is so sweet and so funny and so gentle. I really can't say enough good things about her. Because I got in touch with her and we've been talking occasionally and comparing notes. And if I find any of the old letters Neil used to write me when he was sleeping on a park bench in the Netherlands, I'm going to send them to her so she can read about that time in his life.
That's sweet. Yeah. Now that album with Vacuum Cleaner had some fantastic covers on it. Your cover of Shop Around.
Covers.
My God, your cover of Shop Around completely transformed that song into something different.
Oh, come on. You noticed the intro bit by Kim Fowley, right?
Yeah, yep. Kim Fowley did the intro with
Get out of here. Get out of here.
But it was just such a cool version of that song too. And I loved it. And your voice was just so
Neil,
powerful.
You're being complimented.
Yeah, indeed. I loved it.
I've had some experiences with Kim. He used to come to my music festival and make fun of all the bands who played there. I knew I'd arrived when he did that.
Oh, yeah. He discovered me when I was sitting at a park bench in my school uniform. He liked them young.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Well, the Runaways, all of that. I remember him being so excited about that and telling me about it. He said, but you've passed the age limit. I don't know, Ken. My expiration date went by long ago. I brought him home to meet my parents. Can you imagine?
No.
No.
He stood in the living room with one leg up like a flamingo. all 6'6" of him. They must have been no more than 120 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah.
And he just stood there in this, it's probably some yoga pose. And the next person I brought home just for a little variety was David Winters, the famous choreographer. He discovered me on the same bus bench in my school uniform. That school uniform, I should have kept it. It was like,
yeah, it did you well.
I know. It's like you. Did you sit there? Did you sit there on the bench on purpose to see if you could be discovered?
No, I didn't know that was going to happen. But I like to walk, and I would walk from our place on Foothill and Sunset in Beverly Hills to Immaculate Heart, which is on Franklin and Western, to keep my legs in shape.
Mm-hmm. Real quick on vacuum cleaner, I just need to. Where'd the name vacuum cleaner for an album come from?
I never could figure that out, unless it was because both of us were a little bit like vacuum cleaners when it came to cocaine.
Oh boy!
Because I always wondered, like, who pulls vacuum cleaner out of a hat and says, let's call the album that? You know?
I could never figure it out, and for some reason, every time I wanted to ask him, something else would come up as tour.
Well, I loved it. I enjoyed all the covers on that album, which, let's see, right about that time, was it shortly after that time you ended up in Penthouse?
I ended up in Penthouse. Guccione had been following my career, so to speak, and he had asked me several times, and finally I said yes, because he promised me my own recording studio and a tour and good promotion for Mama Lion, which it wasn't getting. But the poster alone should have made a fortune. And I have never received anything for my work over the years. Everyone bootlegs it now, and I get nothing.
It's a common tale in the music industry. It's really sad.
I don't know why. I mean, you wouldn't think it'd be all right to go to an artist studio and take all their paintings.
No, it's certainly
songs.
It's certainly wrong, but unfortunately, it's a common practice. They get away with it.
Yeah.
Well, everybody thinks it's cool. They don't give a thought to the musician in their life. And if you're not one of the megastars, you're usually pretty poor.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely correct. Yeah. Well, can we talk about Mama Lion a little bit?
Of
Yes,
course.
please.
When Neil came up with that idea, I was terrified. I thought I was going to get mauled.
You're talking.
How did that even work? I take it the Lion Cub had no teeth whatsoever?
He was only 2 weeks old.
Aw.
Lynn, I have a copy of the album here. Do you mind if I put it up?
Not at all.
Let's just so people know what we're talking about.
This had to be the most provocative album cover that any of us have ever seen. It's awesome.
That's why.
Yeah, it's really something.
That I am never remembered or featured when it comes to album covers or anything.
Hard to believe.
I never existed.
Hard to believe, but
my first thought when I saw it was, I've never wanted to be a Lion Cub so much in my life.
It really
put pablum on my nipple. The poor little thing was trying to get milk.
Oh wow! Yeah. Well, I think that ranks right up there with the fact that whipped cream and other delights was all done with shaving cream and not whipped cream. So, pablum on your nipples for the album cover, that may top that.
Well, we figured that would get the lion in the right position, and once he settled in and I kept putting little bits on with my finger, so he was getting enough to keep him still trying for the length of the shoot.
Oh wow!
And he was so sweet. He smelled like sunshine.
Oh,
I love the way babies and little of any kind, of any species, smell. I just love children.
And speaking of sunshine, there's a great one on that first album, "Ain't No Sunshine." What a version of that too. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of hadn't mastered the art of the soft touch.
No.
Except on Can't Find My Way Home. Have Fun My Way Home is really good for.
Yeah,
Well, that's a great song. Well,
it's a wonderful song.
and you were talking about Eric Clapton with me on the phone before.
Yeah.
So
I hate the way people are just hating on him so much. He never said don't get vaccinated. Never said that. He said for him, he would have appreciated having been given informed, with the emphasis on informed consent. They do not tell you the whole truth. I got in a fight with my doctor because of this.
Mm-hmm.
Finally it's coming out what I suspected all along, that there are many deleterious and very serious, it rhymes, side effects to the vaccine. And they don't tell you that. I don't mind if I know the whole truth. It's informed consent. Then I've been able to weigh all the options and do it or not do it. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people with multiple very serious pre-existing conditions, one of which, like Clapton, is neuropathy.
Mm.
That's why I messed up the front of I thought I could streak my own hair. Not. That's why the front is so blonde. It was not supposed to be. So I'll just have to stick with natural.
Well, it's like
it was light enough.
I bet you wish you had a case of those Mama Lion original LPs in your.
I had nothing. I had to buy.
Do you see what an original LP Mama Lion goes for online? More than that. Yeah, $300, $400, $500.
Wow.
I've seen mint condition ones are selling for over $500.
With the bars intact, they get very expensive.
Did they ever withdraw that cover and replace it with a more tame one?
The Catholic Church banned me, and I'm a Catholic, and it kind of was very difficult for my dad.
Wow.
And I was banned in Italy. I was banned in most of Latin America and in Mexico and Guatemala.
Wow.
Because I was the devil. My breast would send you to hell.
On a more musical level, who are the coolest bands that CK Strong or Mama Lion got to tour with?
Procol Harum. We didn't tour. CK Strong never did a tour. We just did big concerts. I met BB King at the Santa Monica Civic. We were on the bill for this huge blues concert, which I could never figure out why this. And I imagine them thinking, what is this white blonde chick doing here? But then once I started singing, they understood.
And well, Janis Joplin, she was white and blonde, so why not you?
She tried to brain me with a bottle of Jack Daniels.
I heard about
it was really funny to do what he did. I drove up to San Francisco to see him at, what's that huge Bill Graham's concert hall? Anyway, he was playing up
the Fillmore.
Yeah. And I went backstage, and Joplin was there, and he said, she walked in, and he said, Janis, I'm so glad y'all are here now. I want to introduce you to this woman. She is the best blues singer I ever heard. And I thought, you just got me killed, you troublemaker. And he started laughing. I said, this isn't funny, BB, as I'm running away from her, and she's trying to get me with a bottle of Jack.
Wow.
She really my face, my forehead. She wanted to kill me.
I think I read somewhere that you also met Jimi Hendrix and were hanging with him somewhere.
I only knew him briefly in passing at a club called the THEE Experience on Sunset and Gardner.
Oh, okay.
And back in the day, it was the place where everybody jammed. I got to jam with the Winters Brothers, which was a huge thrill for me. Tobacco Road, I listened to until it was worn out. And Jimi Hendrix and Buddy Miles, but we had the same manager, Buddy and I. So very sweet guy, both very sweet men. In one-on-one, in person, they were almost shy, at least with me.
Well, yeah. I'd probably be a little tongue-tied myself, but
maybe they were afraid this big mouth would eat them up.
Well, how did you like hanging out on the Strip? There were so many great clubs back then. You got to experience.
Oh, I know. I loved walking up and down that patch of clubs and just visiting. I had a girlfriend by the name of Maggie Threat, who was an actress, and she had olive-toned skin, jet black hair down to her waist and bangs, the same as we looked like twin sisters on opposite poles. She would dress all in white and I would dress all in black, and look out. We caused a lot of mayhem.
I love it.
I can imagine.
And that's when Elmer at the Whiskey said, Lynn, why do you come and listen to these bands? I've heard you singing. You should have your own band. I'll book you.
Nice. And
Very
that was
nice.
the impetus for CK Strong?
And then I met at the Corral in Topanga. I met Jefferson Cooley, who said he was starting a band, and I told him
Right.
he needed to have me in it.
Right.
God, I can't believe I did that.
Was
So
the
we got
Whiskey the first place you played?
First place, I don't remember. Probably someplace in Topanga. I think it was the Strawberry Festival.
Oh, okay. But
And
you did
they
end up
all
playing
got
the
on
Whiskey,
my case
though.
because they said, you're wearing a bra, Lynn. Really cool chick singers don't wear bras. I'm carrying around a lot here. And they dared me, so of course I did it. I wore a muscle t-shirt and no bra. Thank God I was young enough to carry it off.
And you followed up that first album with "Give It Everything You've Got." Second album from Mama Lion.
The first CK Strong album was
Then
self-titled, and then after that came Ivar Avenue Reunion with Frank Goldberg and Charlie Musselwhite, who were being managed by Neil's manager, Maury Alexander.
Okay.
And so it was easy for him to get them. And that's why I did a cameo on one of Charlie's albums. Nice man, really nice. He doesn't drink anymore. He's in his 80s and going strong.
Wow.
Oh, good.
He just, wow. When we did that album, he drank a case of cream sherry. Cream sherry. Oh,
nasty stuff.
Sweet.
I love it. So then
that we did Vacuum Cleaner.
Then Vacuum Cleaner, then the first Mama Lion.
Both at RCA.
Okay.
And then RCA decided to get behind a band called Sky, who were
with Doug Feiger.
I don't know. I listened to some of their music and I was not that impressed. But they had the right manager and the right people knew the right people, and they put all their money behind Sky and lost all their good artists. Everybody walked.
Wow. Well, interesting story about Sky. One of the members is named Doug Feiger, who about 8 years later formed a band called The Knack, who became huge.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Yeah, you remember The Knack, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Well, Doug, I'm sorry that I didn't think you were that terrific at the time. You certainly became wonderful.
Yeah, nice.
Sadly, he's passed on, but yes, they did. They were a huge band. But yeah, Sky was one of his first.
That's nice.
That's great. And then the next thing that happened was, and right after CK Strong was Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, but after Vacuum Cleaner, we left RCA because of what I told you. And then we went with Artie Rip.
Family Productions, yeah.
His name.
Yeah.
He was,
yeah, we've heard stories. We've heard stories, yeah. Yeah.
Rather not visit those.
Yeah, don't visit those.
If I can't say something nice, I'd rather not say anything at all.
Absolutely. That is always my motto as well.
I'm sure there was a good part to him. He was funny sometimes, especially funny the way he thought he'd entrap people. His living room had a gigantic king-size bed in it covered with black velour. And the carpet was black. And the chairs were covered in black velour. And there was a gigantic, beautiful pool table that somebody had, like the Fool had painted, and they painted a mural in his office too. And actually the Fool designed my clothes for Mama Lion. The moon and stars thing, when I was wearing that. The other stuff, that's the only time somebody designed anything for me. Everything else I did all by my lonesome. I did my own, designed my own costumes, sometimes made them, did my own makeup, did my own hair. I was never pampered.
Oh, but you look good, though.
I can't stand to sit still for that long.
Right.
I love
After
it.
Mama Lion, did you go back to acting? Were you still doing music?
After Mama Lion, I got married to a wonderful man, Arthur Mortimer, who's a muralist. His murals are all over the place. But the one of my face got painted over and replaced by a picture of a parking lot. Don't
Oh.
it always seem to get? You don't know what you got, what it's got till it's gone. They painted paradise, put up a parking lot.
Nice.
Oh man.
We get a little Lynn Carey performance. I love it. It's bonus.
Oh, that was too low of a key.
Yeah, it's all right. It still sounded great to me.
It's like Joni Mitchell can't hit that key anymore either. So
I don't know how she ever did. She's a chain smoker.
yeah, she was. She was still young, I guess. It hadn't affected
Yeah.
her.
And
But
you would
years, it did
so
nothing.
you had a solo album then in
Then
the
I had
80s.
myself produced with the invaluable help of Ollie Mitchell on all of the big band tracks. I went at my place and I saw Ollie's band there and I thought, ooh, I got to get with that. And I made a tape and I walked over to his house in this little chiffon number that was kind of transparent with a box of strawberries and a
Kind
copy
of.
of the tape. And I said, I'm Lynn Carey and I'm going to sing with your band. And he said, what?
My God.
I said, oh, come on, Ollie, just have a listen. And by the way, I'm a hell of a lot of fun. And
Wow.
And I knew Jerry Peterson from before. Jerry's gone now too, bless his soul. He was a wonderful man. He was on almost every track on Good Times because I just adored him and I loved his playing. And Ollie finally said, Lynn, you got to get some other people in here on solos. This is going to hurt your album. He said, I love Jerry too, but this is absurd.
And this was a jazz album, right?
No, it was jazz and big band.
Big band, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Big band kind of
My
stuff.
jazz trio did a lot of it, like the Jumping at the Woodside. And I brought in Daryl Leonard and his horns to do the punches on that. And I think they did the sweetening on Love is a Joy too. All that stuff was first take done at Gold Star. I didn't have the money to do endless takes, and I'd had enough of that garbage was already ripped. He would have me do 120 takes sometimes.
Wow.
And what he would use would always be the first 3 takes.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah,
When
that
it's
kind of
not fresh,
perfectionism.
it loses something, you know.
Yeah.
Sure. Spontaneity. Yeah. How about what do you listen to now? What's your thing now when you're putting music on to relax and just be Lynn Carey and hanging out? What's your jam?
You wonder.
Stevie Wonder.
That works.
Wow.
I love him. And
Yeah.
a friend of mine who wrote Compliments to the Chef on Good Times, I met him through Dick Griffey because I was dating the head of the Black Mafia at the time.
Whoa. Who is that? You can't name him.
What?
Can you name him, or you can't do that right now?
I don't think that would be wise.
Okay, understood.
But
That's
I
something.
said to Neil about Maury once, I said, God, what is he? He's acting like mid-level mafia management. And Neil said, shut up. That's what he is. Oh, shit.
Whoa.
You've had
snakes too.
You've had quite the experience, Lynn. I can tell you that much. Pretty much the gamut. Yeah.
I wanted to have I just believe in jumping in.
Mm-hmm. That's what I tell my daughters when it comes to life. Keep throwing darts. You never know when you're going to hit the bullseye. You know.
And you might hit something very interesting.
Yeah, along the way, right? You might have some good stories.
Lynn, do you have children?
I could never have children. I had to choose between cancer and children.
Oh,
so
okay.
I don't have what my little brother used to so cutely say, my baby house is gone.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, again, another life experience. You gotta roll with it. Yeah.
Very difficult.
Yeah. That's but what really, when you look back on everything in your career, and if you were to say what you'd really like to be best remembered
and then
for.
went to Russia and did all that stuff in Russia. And
Oh,
there's that.
you went to Moscow and did a lot of performances,
Yeah,
didn't you?
I toured all over Russia. It was
Wow.
Wow.
incredible.
Yeah,
So
Because
tell
many,
us more.
so
Because
many wonderful people.
there was some
You know,
YouTube video of you in Russia.
Et je parle français porque je
Wow.
estuve en France y yo hablo español y spreche keine Deutsch. I
Okay.
didn't think it was right to go to a country and take their money without paying them respect of learning at least a little bit of their language.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah, I
want to
think-
be yet another ugly American.
I was just talking to a friend about that who used to go to Japan. He said the same thing. You know, I wasn't just going to go there and be an American. I wanted to converse with him. So yeah, he learned enough to do that.
Yes. It's
Now were
wonderful.
you
It keeps your mind flexible. It's a great way not to get Alzheimer's or dementia or something like that.
and the
And
crowds were
I'm
very receptive to you and
at the end of October. So that's something I will be 75 at the end of October.
oh, well, happy early birthday if we don't
birthday
get
in
to
advance.
if we don't get to
But
talk to you
I'm
live.
very
Yeah.
lucky. Not many people look like this at 75.
You are absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Yeah, you've aged well, love, and continued great health with that. But the question I have was when you were touring around Moscow or Russia, were the crowds very receptive?
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
They were incredible. So
Yeah.
responsive, so enthusiastic, so kind, and so generous. Virtual strangers would invite me into their homes, and they had nothing.
Right.
And they would make caviar for me. Because I said in an interview that I liked caviar.
Wow.
Oh wow.
And they would bring me fresh caviar. And they would, this is really sad, because I said I couldn't have children, and I love children. And they would constantly bring me children to audition.
Oh.
I would take them,
Oh wow.
and it broke my heart. Because they thought everyone from America was wealthy, and we're not.
Yeah. It's a beautiful story. Wow. Now this was when late 80s.
Late 80s and through the 90s, off and on.
Okay.
The last time I was there was in the early 2001, somewhere in there. So I have lots of friends there who are wonderful people.
How different was Moscow than any big city in the U.S.?
Not that different. A little dirtier, a little less modernized, but now that we've infected them with Western materialism,
Right.
they're much more like us.
Yeah.
The minute I was walking, I was in Paris when this happened, walking on the Champs-Élysées, and I saw the golden arches. And I thought, that's it. We've polluted the entire world.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You've visited a lot of countries over the years, I would imagine. What's your favorite?
Say what?
Well, you visit a lot of countries and cities over the years. What's your favorite?
Oh, gosh, I can't really have a favorite. Moscow, because of the people I know there. I never got to see St. Petersburg, which I hear is one of the most beautiful, beautiful cities in the world.
Right.
Paris, of course, and the Côte d'Azur. Oh, it's wonderful. I felt very at home in France. They were very rude and nasty to me at first. But since I didn't go away and kept performing there and kept appearing at the different cafes, then finally they decided that they accepted me. And instead of being insulting and nasty, but once they like you, they love you forever.
Oh,
It's really nice. You just have to pay your dues.
Sure.
well, that seems to be a very core trait of yours. Just being tenacious, being very assertive, being self-confident, and that does pay dividends after a while.
Well, it's not because I don't have fear. I do have fear. I have a lot of fear. What it is courage, not the lack of fear.
Mm-hmm.
So walk through that fear and just do it anyway, whatever
Yeah.
it is that you're wanting to do or achieve.
Well,
I'm
all
sure
we need
Lisa knows that if she's stayed in the business this long.
all
Right.
we need from you is a version of My Way.
What a great
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my God, I love him.
I can hear you doing a great version of that. Let's get that going on.
think
Yeah.
between him and Sinatra, that's it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we hope we wish you the continued good health. We wish you keep smiling like you do, because that brightens up a room. It brightens up our little piece of the internet here.
I have
Yeah,
a smile face
Yeah.
Lynn, you really do have one of the most beautiful
instead of
smiles I've
resting
ever.
bitch face.
No, we love it. This really tonight really was a thrill to talk with you live here and see that pretty face and that great smile and hear these stories. That's kind of why David and I do this. Is
technical inaptitude.
That's all right. Yeah, we got it working out perfectly now. But David and I do these things because we want to talk to people. We want to hear their stories. And that's why people tune in, because it's extremely interesting just to be off the cuff and talk to us a little bit.
I was very nervous because I've never done anything like this that had no preparation.
Yeah. Well, you nothing to be nervous about.
No, but you see, spontaneity sometimes brings about great things, and it did today.
I hope it did.
It totally
quite
did.
a few minutes of my hair.
No, it's all good. It really is.
I think one day I'm just going to go out with all my hair in front of my face like this and sunglasses. Profile picture. I just decided now. Cousin It.
Cousin It, yeah.
All my hair forward and put on sunglasses.
Cousin It, that'd be good. I love it.
When you're one of 6 children, you learn to have a sense of humor.
Yeah, indeed.
I can imagine.
Wow.
I'm one of 4, and I haven't learned yet, but I'm trying.
Oh, come on. Your brothers and sisters didn't torture you?
Oh, no, they totally did. But I was the oldest, though, so I got the better of it.
I was the oldest, too. Still am.
Yeah, that's not going to change.
No.
It doesn't change.
Complain about getting older. I say, just remember, I'll always be older than you.
That's right.
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't show you Paul Wardle's portrait. A friend of mine's an artist, and he did this wonderful portrait of me.
Ah.
Do we have time for that, or could I just send you a
picture? Go ahead. By all means.
Yeah, indeed. Yes, indeed.
It's horrible when your body doesn't work the way it's supposed to.
I'm with you.
Yeah, we all are.
David and I were just talking about that before you went on air, how it's just the older you get, sometimes your body goes one way and your mind goes the other.
Yeah, and then you have the muscle memory of when you could do things.
Oh, I'm having a blast.
Let me see if I can get this in frame without...
That's one thing you think about, David, is IPO Moscow.
There you go.
What, you're going to do this in Moscow, you said?
No, do my music festival in Moscow. Who knows?
Oh, here we go.
Tell me if you can see it.
Yeah, back up a little bit. Back up. There we go. Oh, wow.
Wow.
We see it perfectly.
An icon from Russia.
That's really
awesome.
Something.
It's supposed to be, it's very illegal to get one out of the country, and I begged the man not to give it to me. I was in Makhachkala at the time. And he started crying. He said, "No, I love you, and I want you to take this part of me to America."
Oh, wow.
That's quite the gift. That's quite the gift.
It is.
Well, thank you for showing that to me.
I'm very humbled by that kind of thing.
Yeah. Indeed.
Let me see if I can get this. Tell me if you
I'm going to have to
see it.
think of Mama Lion.
Can you see that at all?
We just see your hair right now.
Rats.
Now we're almost back to you.
I'll send you a picture in the mail.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
An email. I
Great.
have some lovely pictures of it.
There's all that hair.
I know.
I love the hair. It's great.
Well, Lynn, thank you so much for joining us. We are very grateful, and we had a great time with you.
Thank you too. It was fun.
And
Lynn, yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. And as we said, stay healthy, stay grateful, and stay yourself.
that's right.
I'm always grateful, and I can't be anybody else.
Thank you again, Lynn.
Take care, Lynn. We'll speak with you soon.
I hope so.
Have a wonderful, wonderful night.
You too.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
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 All right, that was
Well,
that
there you go,
was
David.
different, but in a very good way. She's adorable.
Absolutely. I think it's fantastic that we got to talk with her. I know it was a little technologically weird there for a while, but we got her and she talked about her story. And I think that's just fascinating. And it's wonderful that we got that on the archives for people to see. Really, really something. Yeah,
it is. And I mean, next week we'll be going back to a more conventional interview. We will have Tim Rose and Doug Bobenhouse from the great pop band The Sun Sawed in Half. A lot of people who watch this show are familiar with them. They put out several records in the 90s and then a few within the last 10 years. But they're coming back with a series of new EPs that will probably be made into a full-length album. Right. And they have a young singer-songwriter from the UK named James Holt, who sang on their record and also has his own music, and he'll be joining us. And this will be next week, the 25th of August. And then why don't you talk about our September 1st guest, good friend of yours?
Yeah, was September 2nd? Is that what it is, or is it first? I remember. I think it's second.
First. The 2nd is my birthday, so I know that it's not that.
September 2nd. All right. No, but the first, then that's going to be hopefully. I mean, he confirmed. I got to talk to him, but we have him scheduled. Frank Hammersland, one of my all-time favorite singer-songwriters, who not only has done some amazing solo work, but he was in a wonderful band called Pogo Pops that were very popular in Norway for a period. Then he formed kind of a super group of Norwegian artists called Popium.
Yeah, we love him.
And he's done a lot of guest appearances on compilations and worked with a lot of people, kind of the who's who of Norwegian pop and power pop and rock and roll. So, and he's not really well known here in the U.S. So, outside of a track that landed in a Jimmy Fallon, Drew Barrymore film, unless you know that film, you probably really haven't heard much about Frank Hammersland and Pogo Pop's Popium. But we're hoping to change that a little bit.
We like to educate here as well as entertain.
That's right.
Whenever we can.
So those are the next 2 weeks, and we'll keep you updated via the Facebook group. If you haven't joined the group, please do tell your friends all about it. If you haven't joined the YouTube channel, you can join that as well. Subscribe, which means you'll always get notified who's coming up and what's happening a few days in advance, so you can tune in live and ask us questions and be part of this fun party we call Material Issues. Right, David?
Absolutely, and we couldn't do it without you. Well, we could, but it wouldn't be anywhere near as much fun.
But what's the point? Thank you, Andy. David, always a pleasure. Thank you again, my friend. We're going to end this live broadcast. You have a wonderful evening. You stay healthy. You stay happy. Stay grateful. And we'll see you next Wednesday.
I sure will. Thank you too, Mark. Always fun. Good night.
Good night, everybody.